All right, peace and greetings, YouTubers. So welcome to another edition of In the News. Let's just jump right into it. Now I have to start out with Teddy Riley and Babyface, because listen, I needed that laugh last night. Like, I haven't laughed like that in weeks. Man, that was so good for all the wrong reasons. But you know what? It's all in love. Like, man, last night was so good. It was so good. I think the winner of last night was Toni Braxton and Black Twitter. That's what literally made everything just come together full circle. Like, man, if you weren't there, you missed all of that. I'm sorry. You missed out, because, man, it was so good. So long story short, you know, all the producers have been doing pretty much the battle of their hits on Instagram for the past few weeks, ever since we've kind of been in this COVID-19 lockdown kind of phase we're all in. And so you've seen the round with Timbaland and Swiss Beats, you've seen Johntá Austin and Neil, you've seen Lil Jon and T-Pain, Scott Storch and Melanie Fresh. That was an interesting round. So anyway, it was finally time for Babyface, Teddy Riley. Like, we were ready, I was ready, y'all were ready. We were ready, because initially it got postponed the first time because Teddy Riley had made the argument like, hey, if we're going to do this thing and there's 200,000 or 300,000 people watching at a time, we need to find a way to monetize this. And, you know, I have my own website, and I think if we can get everybody to go to my site, because, look, Teddy was like, look, I'm going to get me to check out all of this. Something happened with that didn't go well. And then at the same time, Babyface had contracted COVID-19, and so he was out for the count. So, boom, here we are a few weeks later. It's finally time. And I mean, I was excited. I mean, I put my Instagram on my actual laptop so I could have it play through the big speakers, because I wanted the crankage to really just play through the speakers. You know what I mean? So I was ready. Everybody was ready. And then that thing started, and it just started going downhill from the beginning. I was like, man, first it took Babyface 3 hours to get on there, which I was like, okay. And I'm looking, because Teddy Riley, like, mind you, the setup alone, Teddy Riley had so much stuff set up. I mean, he had a band, drums, keyboard, he got the interface here, DJ in the back, he got on like the Zapp and Roger Troutman vocoder thing on, all this equipment and gadgets and interfaces and lightning cords and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see how this goes, because I was like, okay, I think he's gonna try to perform some of this. All right, this could be good. Let me see what Babyface is gonna have when his camera comes on. So then when Babyface gets on, it's just Babyface in the studio on his phone with a little, iPhone headphones. Like, okay. I was like, oh, all right, here we go. But anyway, they start doing the rounds and playing the music. Oh, and then everything just starts going wrong. The sound is all jacked up when, and at first people were trying to figure out if it was Babyface or if it was Teddy. I figured it had to be Teddy's side, because Babyface didn't have anything except his headphones, so you couldn't say it was his speakers, because everything he was hearing was in his ears. Because it would have been different if he had like a speaker playing out loud and it was just feedback or latency, but that wasn't the case on his end, so it had to be Teddy. And the funniest bit is, like, Teddy got all of this stuff going like an MC Hammer concert. He even had a hype man and a dancer, and everybody's like in the chat like, Teddy, you're delayed and the sound is trash. Teddy, fix it. Clueless. Teddy is in another world, man, and it don't help. He went and put on his best outfit for y'all. I mean, he got the tracksuit, he got the hat, he done put the extra dye in the goatee. Like, his goatee was darker than mine. I'm like, Teddy, now I know you got some gray somewhere over there. You playing games, man. Teddy wanted y'all to have a full Essence Fest experience. And I ain't mad at him, because if you're going to go against Babyface, you do gotta go all out. But gee, sometimes less is more. Like, oh, that mess was so funny. I have not laughed like that. Twitter is what made it so funny, because Toni Braxton was just flaming everybody. She's like, what is going on over here? And then, like, it's just, they had to stop. They had to take a break. Then they started over, which we didn't need them to start over. We already heard the first 2-3 songs. We could have just kept going, but, they wanted to start over. And, like, listen, when that guy went on that announcement like it was Pastor's anniversary service and said, okay, we're going to take a break for about 30 minutes and y'all come back and go tag 2 people, I was like, nope, this thing is over. Because listen, Babyface already is in a different lifestyle. Like, he may be baby-faced, but he is not baby-body. Babyface is going to bed. So I knew when Babyface kept trying to get Teddy Riley's attention during the whole thing, he was like, Teddy, can you hear me? And I don't know if Teddy's sound had went out for a third time, but he did not hear anything Babyface was saying. And Babyface kept trying to get his attention for like 5 minutes. I knew then. I was like, as soon as Babyface gets the opportunity, he's going to bed. This is a wrap. I mean, that thing, God, that crap was so funny. It was just like, he had so much. And then Teddy had a whole crew. Like, bro, we supposed to be socially distancing. You got 30 people up in there. Like y'all filming an episode of In Living Color. What? I mean, and then if you saw some of the people who were in the crew, like they had their own little Instagram videos and everything. If you saw how much equipment and cameras and cords and wires and stuff that was hooked up, I'm like, this is really, all you gotta do is just sit your phone on the table and push play. That was it. That was all you had to do. less is more. And the other bit is like some people kind of got a little mad that like everybody was kind of flaming. And some folks are like, you need to support black people in their businesses when they're trying to do stuff. And for me, it's like, you know what? All of this is in love. It's not even anything where you're trying to tear Teddy Riley down. Because really, Teddy Riley, the music and everything he's contributed to music is literally the soundtrack to many of our lives. For me, that's my whole childhood. So, there's nothing but love for Teddy Riley. I looked at this as kind of like when you have that family function and everybody already has a task. You know what I mean? And you have that one relative that cannot cook. So you already know their job will be to bring the plates, bring the cups, and if they're going to bring anything edible, it's something prepackaged that we can't get sick from. Something like the chips. And really, the chips aren't even for us. It's for their kids, so their kids will stop begging about when the food's ready. So the kids just eat the chips until it's time to eat. Like that's their job. But then when that person decides they're going to make potato salad and nobody knows what was just set on the table and everybody flames them, it's all in love. There's no love lost. There's no malice or, spitefulness. It's a good laugh for everybody. That's what last night was. I think that was some comedic relief that a lot of people needed. Like, man, because really, there were like 400,000+ people on it at any given time. And so, God, that was a good laugh. But, I think they'll do it again, God willing. Babyface kind of looked like he was over it. Like, it is what it is. But because I was really trying to figure out what they were going to pick for their number one song. Like, for Teddy Riley, my money was on Michael Jackson, Remember the Time, or I Like from Guy. Those were the two I was thinking of. And for Babyface, my money was on Tevin Campbell, Can We Talk, or Boys to Men, I'll Make Love to You. But if he did play that song, he would have had to play it from the bridge where Wanya comes in on that, like that Baby Tonight part. Like those were the two I thought would be up top. But I mean, they have so many hits, it's hard to even figure out, what would be their number one. But again, even before all this, I already had said that really the battle should have been between Babyface and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Or if you really want to stir it up, can y'all do is there a way to do it a three-way? Like Teddy Riley, Babyface, Jimmy Jam, and Terry Lewis. I think that would be the dopest face-off. But y'all gonna have to get all the gadgets and equipment together. So somebody tell Teddy less is more. Because it makes no sense that Teddy had all of that equipment, this whole Essence Fest spectacular, and then Babyface literally just had his phone and a speaker, and Babyface's sound was better. But oh, that's funny. But that's already Teddy's brand anyway. Teddy's always been very big. Like even when I saw him at Essence in 2018, and it was so funny because for the first 10 minutes of the show, before we could even get to any of the Teddy songs, Teddy then came out here with dancers and choreography. I'm like, Teddy, man, if you don't go on and start playing these songs. Oh, I love us. Oh, I love being black, I tell you. It was so good. That was so good, man. But yeah, sometimes less is more. It just gave me a flashback to when I still was at Howard. And I remember one time there was going to be this really big dance show in the spring. And so the year before, it didn't go that well, my freshman year. And so sophomore year was my redemption year. I'm like, oh, we gonna kill this. So I talked so much trash the week of, oh, y'all about to see some stuff y'all ain't never seen before. We about to be doing it. I got popping, I got this, I got all this. I talked all this trash, man. And so when it's finally time for us to perform, for some reason, they were also live with the radio at the same time. And for those in DC, Angie Ange was hosting. At the time, she wasn't at 93.9. She was at WPGC still. And so, they were going live to radio at the same time from this event. And we were the first group to perform after they switched the little frequency to go live to radio. Something happened with the audio. All I know is the crowd couldn't hear our music. We could hear our music on the stage performing. The crowd couldn't. And so we're dancing our little behinds off. And listen, this is kind of just any HBCU, to be honest. But Howard, I think, Howard is a tough crowd because they boo everybody. Everybody. If you don't come with it, you get booed. Howard booed Kanye when Kanye, before Kanye was Kanye, years ago, 03, 04, he did Homecoming, they booed him. Rhyme Fest, when he did Homecoming, they threw his CD back at him while he was performing. I was like, Nina Sky came and performed, they got booed. Everybody gets booed at Howard. It's you got to come with it or you're going to get booed. But that crowd booed us. It hurt so bad. Those boos hurt. I was in my feelings because I'm like, do y'all not see how hard we dancing? And the crowd was just boo. Howard would boo anybody. Howard would boo Jesus if they could. If the rapture came, and it would be wait, so you just gonna snatch at my friends and not take me to heaven too? Boo! That's just how Howard is. But man, that was some hurt. But I felt so stupid because I talked all that trash about how we had this grand, spectacular performance, and it all just went down the hole. That's what happened to Teddy last night. But I do hope that they can get it together and do it again. I was ready. Babyface was ready, but Babyface told y'all he got 10 minutes and then he going back to sleep. So y'all better come correct. Anyway, that was so good. That was such a good laugh. Man, I needed that. Anyway, let's move on. And would you look at that? Literally, as I was getting ready to start the next story, I just happened to check my phone. And so it looks like they're going to do the rematch on Monday at 8 p.m. Now, by the time this video airs, it probably will already be Monday. So yes, Monday, 8 p.m., the rematch. Babyface, Teddy Riley. Also in good news, I am now an uncle, which is pretty cool. My younger brother's son, Dominic, was born earlier this week, which is really cool. And the cool thing is we haven't had any boys born in the family since 1998. So this is the first boy in like 22 years, which is absolutely crazy. And so I'm really happy the baby was healthy, everything was good. The only sad part is because my brother currently lives in Germany at the moment because of his job, he wasn't in a capacity to leave the country because of everything that's happening. And then on top of that, even if he were to be in Washington State where the mom is, he wouldn't have been able to be in the delivery room anyway. But you know, it just kind of shows, you know, how crazy the times are that we're living in at the moment. But I'm really happy for him. He and I always had a bet. I always said he would have kids before I did. I always told him that. I was like, you're going to start your family way before I do. I just see it. So he owes me some money. I know he can take it out of the baby's fund, whatever he want to do, but he needs to pay up. No, I'm just kidding. That's terrible. But no, I'm really happy for him. So I think that was something needed because, I mean, I kind of look back at a lot of the things that have happened, like just within our family in the past few years and a lot of the deaths. And at least for him, you know, it's like you lose your sister, your father, and your grandma all in like 5 years. And so it was kind of cool to see like, okay, there's new life though. Even with all the hardship, there's still, you know, there's always positive change. And so, you know, I'm really happy for him. So yes, I'm Uncle Michael now. Uncle Michael. Even though one of the funny bits with like my job is, I remember I had this family that came from Ghana, and I had never even met the kids yet, but they came to the center for the first time, and they were asking me for something like, Uncle Michael. I'm like, who? Uncle Mike? Oh, that's cute. I like that. But like literally, it's kind of just like for them, it was like a sign of respect where you call like adults auntie, uncle. Black folks do that as well, but you know, normally you do that with folks that you've known for a long time. I had never knew these kids in my life. They're like, Uncle Michael. Okay, I like it. All right, I'll take it. But anyway, moving on. I did get a chance because somebody asked me, did I see Kelly Rowland's music video for Coffee? I saw it. I liked the song. You know, it was fun. I liked the beat. I've always rooted for people like Kelly Rowland, Anderson .Paak, Luke James. I really like Topaz Jones, Jasmine Sullivan. Like those are a lot of the underdogs that I've really been rooting for to really like catch on. I think Anderson .Paak is finally starting to get his things and, you know, really find his pocket and find his lane. But I've always enjoyed a lot of those artists. But as far as the Kelly Rowland song, I like it. It kind of reminds me of some of the stuff 7th Street has done before. I wonder if they worked on this song together because I know she did some work with Kelly before. But I've always liked Kelly Rowland. I really liked her Miss Kelly album, and I really liked the Talk a Good Game album. So I'm hoping that, you know, she has the success that she's aiming to get with her music. I've always enjoyed her music. And so, yeah, that's Kelly Rowland. I still need to check out the Dreams album. I know he just came out with another album. Now, he's a totally different kind of artist, but I've always liked The Dream because he has a really good musical ear. And you can tell he really likes Prince. And, you know, Prince is like my favorite everything as well. So I always like to see what it is that The Dream comes up with when he comes out with different projects. And so there's that. So shifting gears here, I did want to take some time to talk about what we've been seeing with a lot of these racist TikTok users who make these very offensive and racist videos. And then all of a sudden, when the world responds to the content that they made, which is something they wanted everybody to do anyway, then they get mad because there's the backlash and there's the consequences and there's the loss of opportunity and everything else. And then they want our sympathy. I don't have time. Like literally my thing is this. If you're bold enough to put that kind of content out there, then don't come crying to me when the world responds. And don't come crying to me when the consequences come. Don't come crying to me when you got all that smoke that you created for yourself. You started that fire and now you're choking on the smoke. Sit there and choke on it. Don't call me to come put the fire out. That's not my problem. Because it's to the point where they will literally say, you know, to the very group that they work so hard to offend, can you tell your people to calm down? You know, everybody's attacking me. I'm a victim. No, that's not my job. I'm sorry. Nope, it's not my lane. That's not my ministry. Sorry. Like literally, you paved that lane for yourself. So sit in that car and ride in it. Put the car on autopilot and just go for the ride. That's what you built for yourself. That's on you. So the most recent story I've seen is there's this girl named Stephanie, and Stephanie and her boyfriend go, and of course they make this very racist video. And for those who don't know what TikTok is, it's kind of like Vine. And for those who don't know what Vine is, it's pretty much, you know, these are just like social media platforms where people can upload videos that are usually like maybe a minute long kind of, and, you know, post it and then it spreads and it goes viral. Usually people use something like TikTok for something, that can be funny or something creative or something that's just very interesting. People have used it for a lot of really cool things, but unfortunately, you have that pocket of the population that continues to go, and the only way that they can be entertained is by doing something racist. Always putting all of their energy on black folks. Like, folks are just obsessed with people that look like me. I'm just like, I'm thankful for the attention, but you're giving me the wrong attention. Anyway, and so Stephanie and her boyfriend make this TikTok video, and the video is about how to make an N-word. That's literally what they use. And they made sure to use the hard ER as well. I just want y'all to know. And so what happens is they write the N-word down on a piece of paper, put it in the sink, and now they're going to pour in the ingredients that make an N-word. And so all of the ingredients were like, they're black, they don't have a job, they go to jail all the time, they rob people, specifically white people, they eat chicken and watermelon, they don't have dads, they don't make good choices. And so they took the time to make this video, still post it, of course, and the video goes viral. People get outraged. People are like, what the heck, really? So, of course, one of the things that people have not learned when it comes to Twitter is when you do something extremely offensive, especially towards black people, they will find where you work, where you go to school, what church you go to, what your last name. They will find all of that, and they will make sure that they let everybody know that, hey, this is your representation right here, and they're making your company, your school, your church, your community, your family look bad. This is what they're doing. And so they found where this girl went to school, and so she gets kicked out of her school, and I think she also said she's now not going to be able to go to the college she wants to go to. And so now it's the woe is me storm. And it's, I'm apologizing. I'm sorry. Please, everybody. I was so young. I don't know what happened. Let me read what some of the apology bits were here. She said, I might not read all of it because some of this was stupid. I want to apologize for the abhorrent video I posted. That's it all. She done got a thesaurus now. I know in my heart how wrong it was. My boyfriend is racist and he slowly normalized his racism on me. My issue with that is, if you know that your boyfriend is racist, then why are you still with him? That means you're complacent with it, which means you're racist too. Because racism has different levels anyway. There can be passive racist, active racist, those who benefit from it. So you're right in this same game. So you can't put it all on him. Still, I should have never have let him. I believe blacks are human too. Listen, my existence doesn't matter. It doesn't correlate with what you think anyway. I don't care what you think about us. Like, whatever. I don't need your justification to humanize me. Like, especially like little girls, sit down somewhere. Made in the image of Christ. I have disappointed God and I want to apologize. Please don't contact my college. It's my future and one mistake should not ruin a life. Also, please stop with the death threats. Again, I apologize. Sincerely, Steph. And then she keeps going. I promise to dedicate my life to serving God and treating every human being with respect. I do not expect the public to forgive me, nor do I deserve it. But I pray God forgives my sins. That's the only way we heal. But I do take issue with one thing. Hatred does not defeat hatred. Threatening, bullying, and canceling me will not resolve the world's problems. Please, I urge everyone to seek God and find peace in Him. I understand why people are angry at me, but how will ruining my life change that? My parents lived in fear for my life. This is not fair. Then she keeps going. For the love of God, stop sharing the video and my name in the picture. You do not know what this feels like. I've never been this scared. It just isn't fair. Imagine you're a stupid teenager just going along with stupid teenager stuff, and then your life gets ruined forever. People not caring what's in your heart or what you're really like. Only defining you by a stupid video. Please stop sharing. Listen, you showed us what was in your heart when you made the video. And my thing about that video is this. It's not like she made a video. Like, the way that they're passing this off is like it was a careless mistake. It's like, I don't know, you were trying to say a Shih Tzu dog breed, but you just ended up saying the S word because you sneezed halfway through the word. That's a mistake. You literally go, you and your boyfriend say, hey, let's make a TikTok about black folks. And not just black folks, but let's make a TikTok about N-words. And you literally go and take the time. You go and get these little pieces of paper and you cut out the pieces of paper. You write these different phrases with your best handwriting on the pieces of paper that we're going to go into the ingredients. I mean, they get great handwriting, just great drafting skills, excellent handwriting. The handwriting, you filled up the cups with the water so you could pour it in everything, and like literally you had time to change your mind and say, actually, this is a bad idea, but you kept going with it. And I'm sure that wasn't even the first take of the video. They probably did that like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times before they had it right how they wanted it. And even after you made the video, you still went and uploaded it. Now, I saw another post and I wasn't 100% sure if that was that girl's page because now people are making parody pages of the girl. So I'm not even sure what's 100%, genuine anymore. But there was another part where she was saying something like, this video was only supposed to be something that only he and I saw, and it wasn't supposed to be out, and he betrayed me, and so on and so forth, and he ruined my life. And my thing is like, at the end of the day, you made the content, You made that bed for yourself, lay in it. Like, why would you even take the time to make a video like that anyway? You know, and then the piece that gets me is, it's always, I was a teenager, I made a careless teenage mistake. Why is it when it comes with these white teenagers, their careless mistakes are always something racist? When I was a teenager, I wasn't thinking about white people like that. That was not those weren't my careless mistakes. My careless mistakes as a teenager were, we were playing hide and seek at the Walmart. Like, literally, if you follow me, you know I'm from this small town called Spanaway, Washington. And at the time, the only thing in the town other than houses, because this was like a military suburb, was a Walmart and a McDonald's. And if you had a bike, you could go to the other street, maybe like 8-9 blocks over, maybe 2 miles up, and there was a Kmart and a pet store and a Dairy Queen. That's it. So everybody would go and play hide and seek at Walmart until we got kicked out. That's a stupid teenage mistake. Or even when I was a senior in high school, we were having this lock-in, and I was in charge of the team that was going to do the stuff in the library. We are going to make the library a haunted house, and I left the fog machine on for too long. And so 40 minutes later, because I turned it up on high because it wasn't coming out fast enough, and so I turned it up on high, I went to go do some other stuff. Next thing you know, the whole library filled with smoke billowing out of the doors, the alarm goes off, the principal's panicking, they're about to call the fire department, and I had to go and say, hey... You know the fog machine we borrowed from the theater kids? Yeah, I think, you know, since the smoke is all white, I think that's the fog machine. You know, we're going to look back on this and laugh, y'all. That's a careless teenage mistake. Not you going and making some racist video. You know exactly what you're doing. And then just the content of the specific video, the fact that you were well aware of all the stereotypes that are out there about black people, as far as chicken and watermelon, as if white people don't be blocking up the line of Popeyes like everybody else. You know, the chicken and watermelon, not having a dad, always being in jail, robbing people, not having a job, not making good decisions. Like, literally, you understand context and the historical, you know, falsehoods that have been put out there about black people, and you understood all of it well enough to still use it as a weapon to pretty much go viral. And now you want to sit here and pretend that you're just a teenager and, everybody's after me. Don't judge my heart. Listen, you put yourself out there. We see, you've been very transparent. We see it all. And then, you know, apparently she made some other posts like, oh, Black Lives Matter and everything. I'm like, save all of that. I don't do the pandering, okay? That's the other thing. It's kind of like when you see these celebrities or public figures that get in trouble and make these racist statements. And back in the day, the thing was, okay, you went on Al Sharpton's radio show, you know, so like Don Imus or who's the guy that was on Seinfeld? I can't think of his name. You know, all of them would go on the Al Sharpton radio show and, you know, they'd make some bootleg apology and then still get chewed out because Al Sharpton would have the callers call in and cuss the people out. And then all of that apologeticness would go right out the window because then they get pissed off. Look, I said I'm sorry, you people. So my thing with the girl is like, listen, what comes to you comes to you. Let that be a lesson learned. And again, I don't buy the whole I'm just a teenager, I'm just a kid, because when it comes to youthfulness along the lines of race, there's some discrepancies and there's inconsistencies, because when it comes to black youth, they don't get the luxury of just always using their youth as an excuse for whatever happens. You know, but when it comes to white individuals, they get to be a youth well into their 40s. You know, Ryan Lochte, when he got in trouble with the Olympics over in Brazil, he was 32. And you had all these people in the news circle saying, oh, well, you know, just some 32-year-old kids out there just having some fun. I'm like, I'm sorry. By 32, you have lived. You're still young. You're at the older end of young, but you have lived. You understand how a lot of things operate at this point, and you should know better. So save it. Because at the end of the day, Ayanna Jones was 10 and got shot and killed in her bed. She was just a kid. She wasn't doing anything, but she got shot and killed. Black girl, shot and killed in her bed. Antoine Rose, black kid, shot and killed. Jordan Edwards, shot and killed. Jordan Davis, shot and killed. Laquan McDonald, shot and killed. They didn't get the luxury of saying, I'm just a kid, you know, because when it was all said and done, their lives didn't matter in that moment. They were shot and killed by police or whatever else happened in the instance that took their life. That's their experience. But you, on a privileged end, get the time to go and make some racist video that's just overtly, you know it's going to get you in trouble. You know it's going to get you in trouble if it goes viral. But the thing is, in the back of their minds, a lot of these kids that make these foolish videos, they know that the chances of them getting in trouble are like slim to none. That's why they do it. Because if they knew that the backlash that was coming would come, they probably change their minds. But they recognize that they're privileged enough to get away with a lot of this, because when a lot of these folks make these racist videos and they get in trouble, at the end of the day, the punishment goes away quickly. You know, people feel bad for them. They start a GoFundMe or something like that. And, you know, fast forward in 20 years, this same girl will be the director of diversity over at CBS. So it's kind of like they like to play the game. All right, they will take the chance, and then if the chance doesn't work in their favor, then it's, whoa, I didn't know, I love God, God, oh God, I love God. Save all of that, like, get out of here. And so, you know, these kids, funny. So yes, all the smoke that's coming to her, enjoy it. I hope you got your inhaler. Put your mask on. Anyway, moving on. And then the next thing I know that many of you have been seeing is there's been an influx of protests about the stay-at-home orders. And so you're seeing these protests pop up in places like California, in Ohio, Virginia, even in Washington State. Like they're literally everywhere. And the arguments that you're hearing are people are saying, I don't like the government telling me what to do, and I don't have to stay in the house if I don't want to, and so on and so forth. And the interesting bit is, as I'm watching all of these clips, because of course there were people being interviewed, the comments that are coming out, I'm not hearing, I lost my job because I can't work and my house is being foreclosed on, or, because I lost my job, I no longer have healthcare benefits and like, it's nothing like that. It's, I can't go shopping. I'm not able to get my hair done. I was supposed to go to Disney World and we had to cancel the trip. I'm like, people are literally out there protesting because of those things. And I'm just like, what? America's downfall is gonna, listen. As a black person, I'm sorry, because really the majority of the people I've seen out there are white folks. I'm sorry. As a black person, I'm tired of being collateral to the foolish decisions of white people as a collective. Whether that's their voting patterns, whether that's the people they put in office. Because my thing is this, with the protest, it's all of this, I don't want the government telling me what to do, and this happened. And I'm like, literally, you guys are responding to some of the policy that the people, your very people y'all voted in, put into play. For the last 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, for as long as we've been in existence, for some reason, there's this obsession with voting in politicians that I like to call the no politicians. They vote no on anything in regards to the well-being of the actual people. Now, they'll vote yes to everything that has to do with corporations and businesses. And I always say, if your elected official gets richer with each term that they're in office, and that money can't be accounted for in regards to the work that they do for the people, but is more so fund checks that are coming in from different corporations, you need to question what their intentions are. But literally, you vote in all of what I call the no politicians, the ones who vote no on education, who vote no on healthcare, who vote no on any kind of, programs that help the people. They vote no on all of that. But because, they sound like the maverick that you like, or because they're like Brian Kemp and, they make a campaign commercial where they blow up a truck and they carry their shotgun. Yeah, I want to vote for that. And so you voted all that foolishness. And then the leadership is not organized. The leadership doesn't know what's going on, because even with this whole everything that's happening, had all the leadership across the board been on the same page from day one, we could have definitely been at the curve by now. But, everybody's on their own page. This state was going to do what they wanted to do. And so now finally you have all the states in a stay-at-home order, and now some are already coming out of it. But it's like everybody wasn't on the same page. So literally you wasted a month with, stay-at-home orders because not everybody was on the mess. And listen, I don't want to stay at home like the next person. I don't like the government always trying to tell me what to do either. But at this point, it's not even about people like feeling that their liberties are being taken away. Because I saw people with protesting signs saying, we're oppressed, give us liberty or give us death. I'm like, y'all, folks are so privileged, they don't even realize, literally, the whole stay-at-home order isn't even really being enforced like that. In most of the states, people can still go out. You can still go hiking. You can still go walking. If you need to go grocery shopping, go do that. If you need to go to the store, go do that. If you need to get your oil changed, people can still go do that. You can still go do a bunch of things. You can still, if you live in a high-rise, you can go sit on a rooftop. In some countries, stay-at-home order means if we see you step foot outside the door, we're going to shoot you. That's not happening over here. And so, you're seeing these people run around as if we're in, I don't know, I think what it is people have watched so many apocalypse movies, and people are so bought into so many of the different conspiracies because, two, America is already trashed as it is as a country, especially with how they treat the people. So people don't even know who to trust and what to trust. But the issue that I have is the people who have voted for and endorsed most of the chaos are now pissed off that there's chaos. And so everybody else has to kind of just sit and watch and see what's going to happen with what these people do. Because these people who've all gone out and protested, on top of the fact, they're taking their kids out there with it. At least, if you're mad about whatever's happening, why are you taking your kids out there too? You know that there's some kind of disease going around. Everybody can't figure out what's going on with it. All the details are still not there. People are still dying at just crazy rates. And why would you take your children out there to protest? At least leave them at the house. My thing is, for all those who want to go and protest and march, and it's funny because they're definitely carrying Nazi flags and Confederate flags, and I don't know what any of that has to do with your liberties being taken away. But my thing is this: y'all want to protest? Fine. When you get sick, don't go to the hospital, because now you're overworking the medical staff. Our hospitals and everything are already at capacity. The nurses are burned out. The doctors are burned out. The respiratory therapists are burned out. Everybody who's working in this field, they are doing some serious hours where they're not seeing their families. Some of them can't even go home because they don't want to contaminate their families and their children and their wives and their grandparents and their parents and everything else like that. And like, you're not even thinking about any of those people. You're just thinking about yourself. And again, the fact that, okay, I feel oppressed because I can't get my hair done. If you don't go on YouTube and watch a tutorial like the rest of us, like, get out of here. Like, I can't. The stupidity that exists. I understand that people don't want people telling them what to do, but I'm like, at this point, it's a conversation of life and death. And people are making the argument, well, you know, 25,000 people die in car accidents every year, and we're not shutting down because of that. And I'm like, well, at this point, there's been more than 25,000 deaths. Like, by the time we get to Tuesday, it'll be at 40,000 people. So clearly, you can't make that argument. And secondly, a car accident is not contagious. Like, this crap is allegedly so contagious, it's like literally it just spreads and spreads and spreads. And I really do think that the number of cases that exist are probably like triple or quadruple what's really being reported. It's just the tests aren't out there. And so it's like, you really want to take that gamble just because you can't go to Disney World? Because you couldn't go shopping? Because Neiman Marcus is going bankrupt? Like, literally everybody's suffering. Like, but again, there's some groups of people who don't even know what it's like to suffer. And we've only been in this crap for 1 month and they've already lost their minds. Literally 1 month in, they done lost it already. And so they're willing to let any progress go out the window because they need to feel, you know, they've been inconvenienced. And until they've been made whole, everybody's going to suffer. Like I said, that's what I call that punitive entitlement, where if they don't get their way, everybody's going to suffer. It doesn't matter. And you hear the verbiage that they're saying, you know, well, people are going to die. It is what it is. And I'm like, you know what? It's because none of their family members have died yet. Because, of course, as soon as it's their husband or their wife or their child, then next thing you know, they're on Capitol Hill trying to push a bill. Bartholomew's bill, you know, Allison's bill, you know, this will make sure that something like this never happens again. I'm just like, y'all are full of crap. Because now all of a sudden you want to disobey the law, but let black people get shot and killed by police. Y'all have every excuse as to why it was justified that we got shot and killed. Well, they should have obeyed the law. You should have followed the instructions. You should have pulled your pants up. Now the government, not even enforcing it, they're asking y'all, can y'all, like, just please social distance, you know, kind of keep a distance from people. Can you please stay in the house when it's if you're not doing anything crucial, can you please stay in the house? Can you stay out of the way? For those who have different procedures and stuff that are up and coming that are not life threatening, can you just hold off while we figure this thing out? And they're, oh no, I'm not doing that. You're losing their minds. And it's not just white folks, there's some crazy black folks in the mix doing that foolishness too. Because I had to side-eye Boyce Watkins when he said that mess about the car accidents. I'm like, oh, okay, you drinking the Kool-Aid too, huh? Okay, I don't know. People are just loony, man. It's crazy. There's really no limit to how low people will go when it comes to commerce and money. And so you're seeing people willing to die in the name of a dollar now. That's what this is really about. Like, people are willing to die for the dollar. And I'm just like, it is what it is. Because the thing is, like, no matter how terrible things get, if you are still alive and in good health, when everything blows over, you still have an opportunity to rebuild. You have an opportunity to start over. It may not be the opportunity you want. It may not be, the most luxurious whatever, but you're alive and you're well. So why put that at risk so you can continue to have, what do you think you're going to get if they open up all the if all the states open and everything just goes boom back to normal tomorrow? What do you think is really going to happen? Do you really think we're just going to all be able to just run around and go to concerts and go to Coachella and go skating and all that crap? No, folks going to be dropping like flies. And so, again, absolute chaos. And I think it also sucks because when you're talking about a lot of the people who are labeled essential workers, whether they're working at grocery stores or fast food chains, and not just the healthcare people, but people who are working in these positions that are much needed. A lot of those people are minority. A lot of them are black. A lot of them are Latino. And it's like, you are so privileged that, you'll go and spread this mess around because you want to riot and protest. And then you'll still go shopping at that store and spread that to the people that are working, who are just trying to take care of their families. Like, I think people have to step outside of themselves. We're being inconvenienced. It is what it is. But again, that's one of the privileges of when you've lived in America. America as a whole hasn't really had to deal with any kind of epidemic since what? The Spanish flu? Since polio or TB? Like, so now, because people have never really experienced that, they don't know how to act. Because if you look around the rest of the world in some places, this is the norm for a lot of countries. Every 18 months to 2 years, there's always something going around. And the privilege of living in America is people can just change the channel and it doesn't exist in the world anymore. Now you are the channel. You are the footage. The world is looking at the United States like, what is going on over there? They got the most cases, and now they want to open even more states, even though they haven't hit their peak, and the cases are still doubling and tripling. Interesting. The common sense is not there. Like, listen, when it comes to government, y'all know I am not the most patriotic. I don't trust a whole lot of stuff, but sometimes there is a thing called common sense. If there is a virus that is going around that is highly contagious, that is killing people, at drastic percentages, then clearly it means follow the precautions that are being put out there until there's more information. This is some crap people don't even really know the details of, as far as, what this disease is or a virus is or how to cure it. Like, people are still trying to figure it out. So why would you be the guinea pig to sign up to die first? Kind of nonsense. And that's the same for these fake doctors that are like on TV, like Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz and Dr. Drew, who went and spread all this bad information to people. And it's not that big of a deal. Dr. Drew was the first offender, because he's, even before the epidemic became an epidemic, he was the main one talking about the media's blowing this up and it's not even it's a flu and it's gonna go away and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, that's that money talking. He's seeing his bottom line be compromised. All right, he's gonna go on the media blitz tour. And then Dr. Oz, let's open the schools back. It'll only be 2 to 3% of the kids that die. That's fine. At least the other 97% will still be here. Well, okay, you sign your kids up to go die then. Don't be volunteering mine. You know what I mean? And then Dr. Phil and his foolishness. I'm just like, I think with them, the disappointing aspect is like they present themselves as the intellectual authority within their respective fields, but then they go and speak on things that they have no experience in. And then because a lot of people would follow somebody like Dr. Phil or Dr. Oz or Dr. Drew and look at them as, the enlightened one when it comes to something that the average everyday person doesn't know about, they will literally take the advice or whatever it is that they put out verbatim and take it literally and apply it to their lives. It's like the person who heard Donald Trump saying, this chemical or whatever that they use to treat malaria can kill coronavirus. And then that individual took what he thought was that, and it was actually something they use in the aquariums, and he ended up dying. I'm just like, y'all are... Real talk. Is Mars open yet? Because listen, if Mars is open, some of y'all can go. Just go. Just listen. Go ahead. I promise you, we will not stop y'all from flying over there. It's nice and cold too. That's the temperature some of y'all like, because y'all love to go running in 30-degree weather with track shorts on at 5 in the morning. Go for it. Like, if Mars is open, please get on the ships. Get on the ships and go. Please, you just go ahead. You can have all the liberty you want, freedom. Do it over in Mars. You have a good time. It'd be nice. And you know what? And we'll be so far away, you don't even have to worry about us getting on your nerves. Like, just go ahead, get on the ships. What's the number to NASA? Go ahead and text them real quick because they playing games. Whew. Talk about a headache. But anyway, on a lighter note, for those of you who are parents who may be having a hard time when it comes to helping your children with their schoolwork, there's another great resource. There's this woman who started her own business. She's a former educator based in North Carolina, and she started the M&M Educational Group. I'll post the link in the description as well. But they do a bunch of different services. It's virtual tutoring. There's also some free services that they offer, so definitely check her out as well. And at her company, they work with a bunch of different schools in North Carolina, and she's looking to also expand nationally. So if you're a parent who needs additional help, go for it. Also, for the parents who just need more stuff for their kids to do, a great website is worksheetworks.com. It's a website where you can pretty much create worksheets. It's really good for elementary age kids, but with the math that they have, it goes up to algebra, so you can definitely still do things for middle and high schoolers as well. And they cover a bunch of different subjects. So it's English, it's handwriting, it's grammar, it's math, it's science, it's social studies and geography. They even have different like puzzles and stuff like that. So that's one of the sites I always used to use for my center. So definitely, if you just need additional resources for your kids to have things to do when they have too much idle time, or you just want to stimulate their minds, that's a great website as well. So definitely check that out. Anyway, that is all for tonight. I really do not like talking about this stupid epidemic on all these videos. I swear, I really don't. Like, I'm always in a good mood until I start talking about that foolishness. It's just like people I don't get it. Like, people can't really be that dumb. I think I give too much credit to people sometimes when it comes to intelligence. But anyway, we'll see what happens. I do need to check out. I want to check out. I know they're starting the Michael Jordan documentary. I think it starts tonight as well. I definitely want to see that. I'm interested to kind of see his journey, because Michael Jordan as a kid was somebody like I looked up to, and then as I became an adult, I kind of I would side-eye him a bit with some of his choices, and then he kind of came back around, and it's back on my good side. So I'm like, okay, because I always have flashbacks to that NBA championship in '96. When I tell you I cried my eyes out, because I was a huge Seattle Supersonics fan, and Sean Kemp was my favorite player. Sean Kemp and Gary Payton. And man, when they lost, and it wasn't even going to be close either, because they lost the series like 4-2. It wasn't even going to be close, but oh, I cried. I was so hurt. I knew we were going to lose, but you just wanted your team to win. Like, the Sonics hadn't won since like the 70s, and now they're not even a team anymore. Thanks, Oklahoma City. Anyway, I'm out. Subscribe, share your 2 cents.
Something built to last. Come on. Messing up a good thing, bracing for the quick thing, tarnish all the love, and now you're feeling stuck in a mess.
They don't want you to see her when they're pretty.